Welcome to the Omnia Sol Art Show, a glitch art video podcast hosted by Omnia Sol. Episode 12. Perfect Blue Rose. Hello and welcome to the Omnia Sol Art Show, also known as TOSAS. I, of course, am your hostess with the mostess, Omnia Sol. Welcome to the show, everybody out there in the land of the internet, watching on YouTube. I hope you are having a great day whenever you are watching this. We've got a great episode for you lined up tonight. So the name of the episode, as you saw in the opening credits, is Perfect Blue Rose. And the reasoning behind this is I didn't know what to do for the theme of the episode. I had my friend from work, Paul, who is a comedian, and I've been trying to get him to start his own podcast, call it the Paul Cast, because I know he's got one of these microphones. I know he can do it, but he has yet to do it. He suggested the theme of the episode be romance, but that's not a topic that I know much about currently. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what the theme of this episode would be. However, it happened to be, when I was doing the footage for the episode, it happened to be February 24th, which is Twin Peaks Day. So I thought, that might be a fun theme, Twin Peaks Day. And then I thought, what if instead of just Twin Peaks, I've been talking about wanting to eventually do a diner episode, but I really want to record the audio for a diner episode in an actual diner and then splice together footage of my favorite diner scenes in various media glitched together. So I thought, well, maybe comfort food, maybe I could do some pie and coffee. We could have pie together. We could have coffee together. It'd be just like an episode of Twin Peaks. What really set this episode in motion to make this theme is that I went to the Salvation Army in my neighborhood to hunt for VHS tapes. Didn't find many good tapes. I found a couple James Bond tapes as well as Full Metal Jacket. But what I did find is a DVD player that takes the AV cord, the yellow, white, and red, which I use for my video synthesizer. And tonight, this entire episode is made using my synthesizer, or my video processor, I should say, Sophie, which usually we use Charlie or a combination of Charlie and Sophie. This episode is entirely with Sophie. And one thing I wanted to try on it, which I haven't been able to because I've just had one VCR running through the circuit bender. Both Charlie and Sophie can take two inputs, and I was curious because there's two inputs and two outputs for Sophie. So I was curious to test that. Never done that before. I wasn't sure with the two outputs if it would output all in the same one, but I plugged in the VCR into the input, the DVD player into the input, and then just one output into the CRT, which is what I'm filming on. And there's just a switch that can toggle between those two. So this is the first one that I was able to actually splice footage together while recording it, because with the flip of a switch, I can just switch back and forth between the two medias. And I'm excited currently. So I have joint custody with Charlie because I bought it with my friend Mitch, and currently he is using it to edit some video. But when I get that back, I'm curious to try, because that also has two inputs, but instead of a switch to switch between the two, you have a knob. So I'm curious to see how I can blend the different footage together between A mode and B mode. But I decided to do Twin Peaks because we recently had Twin Peaks Day, and Perfect Blue. And where the blue rose comes from is in Twin Peaks. If you watched Fire Walk with Me and you watched The Return, you know that the blue rose is the code name for the secret FBI group that deals with paranormal, extraterrestrial activity that is outside of what we perceive as our normal everyday life. So this is perfect blue rose. And the reason that when I came up with this, it reminded me of this recent radio lab. Well, it reminded me of this article that I read that I talked to my friend about, my friend Tony Tones, and Tony was like, oh, there's a Radio Lab episode about that. And she linked me to the Radio Lab episode about it. And I listened to it about how the color blue is actually not a contemporary phenomena, but we discovered blue when we had a word to associate with it. And there are a lot of ancient cultures that did not have a word for blue. If you read the Odyssey and the Iliad, references to the ocean describes it as wine dark, and it also describes different sheep as being a shade of violet, but it never uses the word blue, with the exception of the ancient Egyptians who had blue, and they had their own word for blue. Cultures that did not have access to blue didn't have a word for it, and couldn't, for as far as we can tell, couldn't see the color without the word. And different cultures who have different words for colors, like there was one tribe in the article, which I'll link in the show notes, that didn't have a word distinction between blue or green. So when they did like a color test, they could not see a difference between blue and green squares. And if you think about it, our culture, if you're watching, in the West, in the United States, Europe, English speakers have the word pink as a distinct color, but pink doesn't exist on the color wheel. Pink is actually just a shade of red, but we see pink as more than just a shade of red because we have a word for it. It's the same thing in Russia. They have a word for blue and a word for light blue as distinct colors, as distinct different colors, and they can see it so much easier than we can because they have that category for it. So our world just expands as our language expands and our understanding of the visual universe. And it's very interesting because you think, well, you look up at the sky's blue. The sky is not always blue. A lot of times the sky is gray. Sometimes the sky is black as midnight on a moonless night. So everything is relative, but it is interesting that blue is such a new phenomena in our collective understanding of the universe, because the Egyptians had access to blue dyes and blue pigmentations, but so many other cultures did not. And blue is not something that shows up in nature. The reason why the secret FBI unit is called Blue Rose is because blue roses do not occur in nature. They are man-made, similar to, in The Return, the Tuplas that they're chasing after are not created beings in the natural sense, but they are magically created spirits that can inhabit our world. So just some thoughts to ponder whenever you are watching this episode. Don't take the color blue for granted, because for the majority of human civilization until recently, we did not even have a name for it. So when you see blue, enjoy it and enjoy the fact that you have a name for it. So that's why this episode is Perfect Blue Rose. And another thing that's unrelated, but Tony Tones, who linked me to the Radio Lab article, which I will link the article that I read as well as the Radio Lab article in the show notes. Tony Tones recently had a birthday, and I wanted to glitch the anime Perfect Blue for her birthday. However, I recently just got a DVD, and thankfully I found this DVD player right in time. Think about the synchronicity of that, because I tried to get this episode. I tried to get Perfect Blue on VHS. I actually bought one from eBay without reading the description properly. Ended up buying they only made a Spanish version of the tape, And the thing about the Spanish version, it's a PAL tape, a PAL tape. It's a European tape where the US takes, I think it's NCTS or something like that. Don't get mad at me on the comments if I got those letters wrong. Anyways, it's not the right format tape, but if you are European and you are watching this, send me an email, omniasolart@gmail.com, because I have been trying to get a PAL format, a European format VCR, so that I can glitch tapes from Europe, but a lot harder to come by than you would think because of cost of shipping. Everyone on eBay wants at least $300, and I'm not going to pay $300 for a VCR right now. The American VCR that I use, the Zenith, I think I got for like $50, and it's just been wonderful. The older model VCRs are so much better than the newer model ones. They just hold up so much better. When you get those combination DVD VCRs, they break so easily. They're just flimsy crap that's not put together really well. But these older models work great. And but now I got a DVD player added to my repertoire, and we're just going to keep things moving, keep things changing, keep this show evolving, because I take the fact that I have these VHS tapes for granted, because VHS, they haven't made a VHS. The last one was History of Violence, made in 2006. VHS only has a shelf life of like 25 years. And, we're thinking it's already been 2006. If all my VHS tapes came from 2006, which they did not, a lot of them are older, then it is already 2021. It's going to, who knows how long these VHS tapes will last. As they deteriorate, I can utilize that glitching. If you'll notice on this Twin Peaks tapes, there's a lot of gray bars, and that, I don't know if it was cat hair, I don't know if it was dust, but the tape itself has begun to deteriorate. And unfortunately, I got this at like a thrift store back in St. Louis a few years ago I got 5 for $1. Whereas now you look on eBay, the box set of Twin Peaks is going to run you like over $100. So hopefully I'll find a replacement tape. In the meantime, I'll be watching the Blu-ray or DVD if I want to rewatch Twin Peaks, but I will use it for glitch art because I love you and I love this show. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and move on to our first segment of the show. You know what it is. It is time for What am I drinking tonight? So tonight I am drinking a beverage that I don't think has been drank on the show before. I am drinking a watermelon flavored sparkling water. Get your little bit of ASMR in the episode. The thing about this watermelon sparkling water is it's incredibly, incredibly refreshing. It kind of reminds me of cucumber water, like a sparkling version of cucumber water. And I love cucumber water. I truly do. It is truly one of the most refreshing beverages out there. Truly a nectar of the gods. So check it out. If you have an opportunity to find a watermelon flavored sparkling water, check it out. I'm not going to say the brand name because I'm not sponsored, but if there are any sparkling water companies out there that want to sponsor me, feel free. I will surely sell out for a lifetime supply of sparkling beverages. And this has been What am I drinking tonight? All right, we are going to go ahead and move to our first song of the night. This is actually a song by yours truly. All the music in this episode is going to be mine. As I make more music, I'm going to switch off from having featuring artists that I like, promoting their music, as well as promoting my own music, and also giving the fans the watchers at home of TOSAS, watchers and listeners, if you're just listening to the audio podcast, because for some reason you prefer the audio to a video podcast, but giving you a first taste of the music that I'm working on. So this is a world premiere of a song that does not have a title, but for the sake of the episode, I'm going to go ahead and title the song Blue. I haven't decided if I'm going to add any vocals, and just a warning to the viewers and listeners at home that all the music in this episode is pretty abrasive. I tend to get into the harsher areas of noise music sometimes, especially with this song. It's so far an instrumental. I might add some vocals to it, but it is kind of abrasive. So just a fair warning. I did turn everything down so it's not going to like hurt your speaker system or anything, but just the noise in general might be a little abrasive on the ears. So if you don't like it, feel free. As always, you can always mute the show, throw on some Dark Side of the Moon, throw on some Jimi Hendrix, throw on any music that you want to jam out to, groove out to, anything that fits your style. And I know the video will work with it, but if you do enjoy the music, I hope you enjoy it, then eventually it will be on Bandcamp, omniasolart.bandcamp.com. But for the time being, it is unreleased. So enjoy this track. The title is Blue, and we will be back with you after the song. And we are back. Welcome back to the Omnia Sol art show. That was an unreleased song by yours truly, Omnia Sol, titled Blue, until I come up with a different title for it. If you are just tuning in, which I don't know why you would, unless you found a random YouTube video and clicked it and was just like, I'm just going to skip to the middle of it, see what happens. But if you are just tuning in, this is the Omnia Sol art show. I am your host, Omnia Sol, and it is time for a fan favorite section of the show. This is the time where I read your fortune. I read your tarot card and let you know what's up, what's going on. So if you have a question in mind, think of your question now. It is time for Card of the Show. All right, so as you probably know, unless you are brand new to the show, in this segment I read a tarot card that you can apply to your life. So think of a question while I'm shuffling, and then I'll pull the card and give you the meaning behind it. And I don't read reversals, but here we go. Shuffle number 1. Shuffle number 2. If I can get the cards, there we go. Oof, that was a bad shuffle. All right, try that again. Shuffle number 2. And last but not least, shuffle number 3. All right, let's see what we got on this week's card of the show. We got, oh, nice. We got the Empress. So this is a card from the major arcana, usually associated with the planet Venus, as well as the divine feminine. It is a Mother Earth type archetype that I believe she has a dress that has pomegranates on it, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to read in the definition, but there's the sign of Venus. She's sitting on a throne of pillows, and there's like vegetation all around her, as well as some wheat, which can be turned into, bread or beer or whatnot. So definitely associated with fertility, but not just in the human fertility of pregnancy, but in being fertile with creativity, with productivity, with inspiration, all those good and fun things. So we'll go ahead and read from the book, see what the Empress has to say in the actual book definition. The Empress: wealth, abundance, fertility, growth, motherhood, pregnancy, physical creativity. For those who are creative by nature, such as artists and sculptors, the Empress represents a truly fertile imagination, producing items of great beauty. For those who work the land, such as horticulturalists, farmers, or gardeners, the Empress represents nature's abundance and the pleasures of the earth. For the very young among us, the Empress promises a secure and fertile future. All right, here's hoping you can apply that card to your life, whatever question you had. Hopefully the Empress has an answer for you. So look at your life, evaluate what's going on, and see how you can apply the Empress to your life. This has been Card of the Show. All right, we are going to go ahead and play our second song of the night. This is another unreleased exclusive song from me, your host, Omnia Sol. The song is titled Utopia, and it is an edit from an unreleased video project that I might revisit at some point, but I condensed like a 20-minute harsh noise song that I was going to make. It was going to be called Utopia, a harsh noise musical, and it was going to be all glitch art. But that was before the show even started. That's when I was first messing around with Charlie, getting the hang of everything. I might revisit the project at some point, but anyways, I condensed the 20 minutes of harsh noise nonsense down to about 3 minutes. A fair warning again, it is a pretty abrasive song, so if you need to mute it, put on whatever music you like to listen to, whether that's Psychic TV or Neutral Milk Hotel, whatever you like to listen to. If you don't like this song, mute it, put on whatever you want to. But if you do like, I hope you like this song. If you like harsh noise, you're watching a pretty abrasive show, let's be honest, because my art is not for everyone. That's just the truth of the matter. The visuals themselves are pretty abrasive. So anyways, without further ado, here is Utopia, and we'll be back with you after the song. All right. Well, the song was Utopia, unreleased song by Omnia Sol, yours truly, the host of this show. We are going to go ahead and move on to our third and final section of the show. And if you listen to the last couple episodes, you remember that there was a fourth segment of the show called Goals of the Week, I think I called it. Anyways, I realized that putting my goals out there in that sort of public capacity was self-sabotaging me. So there will be probably a different fourth segment added to the show. But in the meantime, we have some long songs for this episode. So cut that segment out. Maybe it'll be back someday, but not right now. Anyways, it is the time for the part of the show where I normally read from a book But today I am going to be reading from an article, an article instead. The article that I mentioned earlier about the color blue. So it is time for your favorite segment. It's time for words. It's time for words. It's time for words. So the article I'm reading from today is from sciencealert.com. It's by Fiona MacDonald, and the title is "There's Evidence Humans Didn't Actually See Blue Until Modern Times." So here we go. Human vision is incredible. Most of us are capable of seeing around 1 million colors, and yet we still don't really know if all of us perceive these colors in the same way. But there's actually evidence that until modern times, humans didn't actually see the color blue. As Kevin Lauria reported for Business Insider back in 2015, the evidence dates all the way back to the 1800s. That's when scholar William Gladstone, who later went on to be the Prime Minister of Great Britain, noticed that in the Odyssey, Homer describes the ocean as wine dark and other strange hues, but never uses the word blue. A few years later, a philologist, someone who studies language and words, called Lazarus Geiger, decided to follow up on this observation and analyzed ancient Icelandic, Hindu, Chinese, Arabic, and Hebrew text to see if they used the color. He found no mention of the word blue. When you think about it, it's not crazy. Other than the sky, there really isn't much in nature that is inherently a vibrant blue. In fact, the first society to have a word for the color blue was the Egyptians, the only culture that could produce blue dyes. From then, it seems that awareness of the color spread throughout the modern world. So there you go. There's a little taste of the article. I will link the rest in the show notes, as well as the Radio Lab episode, which I think does a better job than even the article I read from. But I can't really read from a radio show, and I didn't want to play a different show on my show. But check it out if this history of the color blue in human society interests you at all. Definitely read the article. Check out the Radio Lab. I hope you enjoy it. Hope you get something out of it. Hope it changes the way you look at our world and you look at the color blue. That was It's time for words. It's time for words. It's time for words. We are going to go ahead and play our third and final song of the night. This is a song that I feel like I may have used on a show before, but I'm pretty proud of it. The music video for it is on YouTube, and the song is called ENOCH. It's kind of a longer song. It's like 6 or 8 minutes or something a little too long, but I am really proud of it. I pieced together a bunch of kind of different beats I was working on, and as well as adding in some like experimental noisy elements of field recording from VHS tapes that I then edited and whatnot. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll probably, if I remember, I'll probably link the YouTube video for ENOCH in the show notes as well, so you can check that out. The what I definitely will be linking is the link to the Bandcamp. So if the other two songs were unreleased tracks, but this song was released on Bandcamp, so you can check it out, omniasolart.bandcamp.com, and we will be back with you after the song. But like literally, like honestly, lately I haven't felt like I'm tired all the time. I think actually being at work has helped, but it's also like fucking like having to be a caffeine addict and like needing. I feel like you can relate to that, like needing the caffeine to like fucking get the day fucking started, you know? Fucking sucks. I wish I didn't need caffeine to like fucking be awake. It's fucking bullshit, but it is what it is right now. All right, and that was Enoch by Omnia Sol, which you can find at omniasolart.bandcamp.com. So go check it out. I'll have it linked in the show notes, as well as the music video for Enoch, so you can watch that if you just can't get enough of hearing Enoch. Anyways, we are running out of video for the show, so we're going to go ahead and roll the end credits soon. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Omnia Sol Art Show, also known as TOSAS. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/Omnia Sol Art. And you can become a patron. I'll send you a poster and, all that good stuff. Follow me on social media at Omnia Sol Art. I'll plug my website if I ever get a website. Hopefully I will someday, but thank you. And I'll see you next week. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Stay blue. Stay blue. All right. Goodbye, folks. Oh, one last thing before the credits roll. I just realized this is the second episode with blue in the title. Who would imagine that? First we had the blue marble, and now we have perfect blue rose. Only 12 episodes in, and we've already got the word blue used twice in the title and theme of the episodes. What the heck is up with that? Who would imagine that? Anyways, now I'm talking during the credits, so I'll see you later. Bye.